Hi, I'm Morrissey. This video includes 5 keys for how you can change your result. You can actually take your dream and make it your reality. And this is a gift to you. Over the next 10 days, I'll be sending you 3 videos just because you're on our email list and we wanted to give you this gift. Over the years of coaching, one of the strongest things that I've heard people say is, I don't know how to do this. It just feels like I'm stuck in this particular area of life and I don't know how to make it change. So we're going to give you 5 keys today for how you can literally change the results in your life. Martin Luther King's anniversary of his I Have a Dream speech was last week. I was in New York City with my husband helping our 18-year-old get checked into Pace University, which was his dream, to get to go to Pace University in New York City. And there were a sequence of things that occurred in Bridges' life that made welcome that dream. I remember being a very young woman, overhearing people talking about this thing that was happening in Washington, D.C., and getting myself to a television and seeing the broadcast of this I Have a Dream speech. I had the privilege in 1998 of working with Martin Luther King Jr.'s children in launching a project called A Season of Nonviolence at the United Nations, where I ended up speaking 3 different times on this project, and with them and the Gandhi grandchildren. I was inducted into the Martin Luther King Order of Preachers, which was a great honor in my life. I have a dream is one of the most powerful things you can say. You have a dream for your life. You may not have articulated it. You may not exactly right now be able to describe it in such a clear way that Martin Luther King described his dream, but we can get there. The important thing is that right now that you might know that there is something moving in you. It's this thing called life that is seeking to express in a freer, fuller way, which ultimately brings you greater fulfillment and happiness and satisfaction and difference making. There is this pull of becomingness that is in you. It's the very breath you're breathing with. It's the very life that's beating your heart. So I'm going to give you 5 keys for no matter what the result is in your life that you would like to change. Not all your results do you want to change. You love some of your results, but some of them you would like to change. So we're going to give you 5 keys today. And I just have to say that as I was watching last week the speeches from the Lincoln Memorial and seeing the 3 presidents and Martin Luther King's kids speaking and feeling very connected to that, and I just had to say a big prayer of gratitude that to my team and to the planning that we made a decision that this year, for the first time ever, we're bringing the annual program we do, which is called Dream Builder Live, and we're bringing it to Washington, D.C. October 18th, 19th, and 20th, we're going to be in Washington, D.C. doing our 3-day live training. So if you're interested in that, I hope you'll check out the link at the bottom of the page and come hang out with dream builders. Come put yourself in the energy of people who may not even know yet what their dream is, but they know there's a system by which dreams become reality. All right, the 5 keys. D, and we're going to use DREAM as an acronym, which will actually literally just make it easier for us to remember and then relate to. Dream. Dreams always begin with a longing and a discontent. That you're longing for something, you don't have to know how, but you're longing for something, and or you have a feeling of discontent. You're tired of something. You're feeling hemmed in. You're feeling constricted. You're tired of something going on in your life, and you want it to change. Again, you don't have to know how, but until you have the seed of the idea of what it would be like, what it would feel like. And if you don't know what your dream is, then you have what are called your sureties. You know for sure that 3 years from now you want good health. You know for sure some things about your relationships. You know for sure some things. Start there. Start to generate your dream from there. But in order to take your life from this result to this result, there are 5 things, 5 keys that must get activated. Number 1 is decide. Until you make a decision, it's just random thinking. Until you make a decision, it's just wishful thinking. No molecules move on the power of wishful thinking. So have you made a decision? And if not, let's do it now. I am going to live the life that I love living. I am going to change this result into this result. I am, and then you fill in the blank. The D is decide, which literally means from the Greek deisia, to cut away from. I'm going to cut away from this way of living. I have decided for this way of living. Decide. R is the power that we each have where we learn how to respond rather than react. that we can choose what we're going to think and feel instead of reacting to the things that are happening in and around our lives and seeming to come at us. So we can choose, what will my response be? The person who is living the life I'm imagining, what do they think? What do they do? How do they choose? And we begin to respond rather than react. And that often comes with enough is enough. I'm enough of that. I am now this. Rosa Parks, who was at the United Nations the very first time we launched a season for nonviolence, had had enough is enough. And instead of going to the back of the bus, she didn't go to the back of the bus. She sat down and she refused to get up when commanded to go back to the old life. There will be a pull of becoming backwards. The pull of come back here, be this old person, come back here, live a constricted life, come back here. And you will refuse to react to that pull of the familiar. Instead, you'll respond to the beckoning of the decision you've made for your dream. You will respond rather than react. You will choose this day who you will be. D-R-E. E stands for the energy for your dream, the energy for it. If you have a lukewarm energy, don't expect the water to transform into steam and give you a lot of power. Well, you and I can generate absolutely a stellar kind of, a flaming kind of enthusiasm for our dream. When Napoleon Hill talked about a burning desire, he's talking about being so in love with the idea of your desire that you're willing to transform yourself into its living equivalent, even in your mind and your feelings, long before the molecules of the time and space of the landscape of your life get the signal, but only because you're enthusiastic about it. Now remember, the electric plant, as our friend Brendan Burchard says, doesn't have electricity, it generates it. You get to choose the energy that you're generating, whether it's lukewarm or whether it's white hot, on fire for your dream. So enthusiasm is the E. As we get to the A is where the rubber meets the road. A is action. What step can I take today that's in harmony with the dream I have? What step can I take today with what I do have that's in harmony with my dream? And remember, small steps lead to big results. So don't underestimate the power of a small step. But only if you take that step does its power make itself known to you. So what can I do? Great question. You've got a dream, you decided for it. You're practicing responding from being the person who's living that dream, even in the absence of knowing all the hows, or the absence of seeing how it's all going to work. There's something I can do today. I'm generating enthusiasm for this dream. I've made a decision to change my life. I've made a decision to change my life. And you don't even have to tell anybody about it. You just start practicing being this. And keep coming back to this website. Keep listening and watching the videos. And keep practicing the things we're talking about, because they work if you work them, like any great tool. It only works if you work it. So when you get to the action, this is where the rubber meets the road, meaning where the magic happens. Because you can think about it all day, you can talk about it all day. But if you don't take sequential actions, nothing really shifts over time. The electric plant can be generating electricity, the wires to your house can be perfect, everything's hooked up, the wiring in your house is wired to code, every plug is plugged in and every bulb is working, and you still don't have light because the ground wire is not secure. But when you put a ground wire in, the circuitry occurs. Your action is the ground wire. You taking the steps you can take, the universe responds with things you can't make happen, but you've made welcome by your being on the frequency of your dream. Or as Einstein said, match the frequency of the reality you want and it must be yours. This is not philosophy, this is physics. So you match the frequency through deciding, responding as from this frequency, the energy, you're enthusiastic, living that life. You wouldn't have a dream that you're not in love with. So fall in love with it as you're bringing it forth. Fall in love with it today. Fall in love with, I've made a decision to change my life. And I am taking the step I can take today. And don't let yourself off the hook that there's no step I can take. There's nothing I can do. I was having lunch recently with a woman who had a really great idea. She had a really great dream. And the action step, when I said, so what are you going to do about that? And she says, well, I'm going to research it. I'm going to think about it. Maybe I'll talk to a couple of people about it. And you could see, just even as she said that, I'm going to research it, I'm going to think about it, I'm going to talk to a few people about it. There was no fire. It was just a very lukewarm. And I said, so how in love are you with this idea? How much would you really love to be living this life? Oh, and then boom, she gets on fire with the idea. And it's like, I would really love this. I would really love this. Well, then let's talk about what you can do with what you have. And within 10 minutes, we had an action plan for her first event in the first 30 days, 12 people, where it would be, who some of the people she would invite, so that she could get going with bringing the thing forward that she really was in love with bringing forward. And she realized it didn't take all of that other stuff to do it. She could actually take a baby step. Small steps can make for big leaps forward in our life. We get off stuck and we get on the frequency of our dream. And the last one is the M, and this one is key to grounding the dream so that it's not just something that comes quickly and is gone again. Some of us have really worked hard to create a new result. And it comes for a little while and we find ourselves thinking, this is too good to last. When is the other shoe going to fall? And it does. The M is your mastermind, your mentor. Who are you hanging out with? See, I get the privilege of mentoring you in this small video. I get the chance to help you consider what you already know is true, but just remind you. I get the opportunity to mentor you a bit in this call. Your mastermind is who you hang out with most. Why we do Dream Builder 3 times a year this year is that we gather groups of people together who are dream builders, who are people who are resonant with and familiar with the kinds of things you and I are talking about today, who are inspirational, who are transformational, who are some of them just at the beginning and some of them years and years of study. And as we get together, ideas pop, friendships form, masterminds occur. And ideas are, and support occurs, and people start businesses. They gather support, they gain all kinds of things by coming to this Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. So again, if that interests you, there's a link below, and you can click that. You're a friend and family to our community because you're on our mailing list. We'll be sending out invitations wide and far here in the next week or so, but we wanted to give you first access to this. So again, I just want to say to you, your dream literally can matter if you make it matter. That DREAM acronym works if you work. And I don't want to leave you today just reminding you, I guess first, in a few days I'm going to send you another video, which are the 3 ways of thinking that actually stop most people from having the results they want. And I will suggest to you right now, it's probably not what you think. And the other is I'm going to give you a tool for how to secure staying on a frequency that's harmonious with your dream, a tool that works every single time, works quickly, and changes your predominant state of mind. So we're going to bring you that in the next video. And I want to leave you with this thought. Remember, what is within you right now is far greater than anything that's coming at you, far greater than anything that's ever been. The very thing that's within you right now is far greater than what lies behind you, or even what's coming at you right now. Also want to remind you, deep in my heart, I know that the dream that is in your heart really can be the life that you are living. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.